Hello YouTube! This is Keith again with another wonderful review. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to be taking a look at a Bitcoin miner. Bitcoin, as you may or may not know, is a digital currency, and you use these miners, they're aptly named, to basically mine for Bitcoin. This particular unit does not do some of the more widely known about coins. It's just Bitcoin. It's the original. No Litecoin, no Dogecoin, whatever. So this unit is the Black Arrow software Prospero X-1. I hope that's how you say it. So as you can see, it just looks like a computer. Pretty small computer. Basically the width of my hand, which I have pretty big hands. So we'll take a quick look at it. We'll try not to knock it off this box that it's sitting on, and I'll give you the pros, the cons, and the ugly. Yes, I said ugly. So, what's not ugly is this case. I mean, this is pretty nice. It's good build quality. It's not thin plastic. This is pretty solid. I don't know if it's coated aluminum or what it is. It kind of sounds like plastic, but it doesn't feel like plastic. It feels like metal. So you have an LCD screen on the front. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then you have the logo here, the X-1 logo, which you may or may not be able to see down there. Okay, and on this side is the intake. So there's a giant heat sink here on this back here, and air gets sucked in through here, goes over that heatsink to cool the unit. On this side, you have the fan. So it's a pretty big fan. I forget how big they say it was. Maybe 200 millimeter, 170 maybe. So it's pretty quiet. So that blows air this way. So you can blow it this way. As far as the back goes, it's pretty simple. You have your power cord, which is this silver area here is the power supply. You have your wireless antennae. You have, that's stupid. Why is it doing that? Making me look like a fool, even though I already am. You got your Ethernet adapter here, so this is the Ethernet cord, and then you got 2 USB here. So that's it. That is the whole unit. Let's go back around to the front and let's take a closer look at the LCD screen. Alright, so here's the front of the unit. As you can see, it is, or not see, there you go. So this is the LCD screen. This is how you would interact with the unit if you were not using a web browser. If you were just using the unit. Like, it literally is plug and play. You can plug it in, no computer needed, and if you know your information, this thing can start mining. This thing can start mining right away without a computer. So basically what this is there is a Raspberry Pi on the other side of this LCD screen, and it is running Android to run this unit, which is pretty clever. So you can see it takes you to a web page. I'm gonna have to lift it up. This LCD is an older technology, which only gives you a good viewing angle basically from one direction, and in this case is lower than what so if the unit is sitting flat like this, which it's pretty much flat with the camera, it's kind of hard to read the LCD, so you actually have to kind of like lift it up a little bit. So as you can see, you've got your hash rate right here, you've got your temperature, you've got graphs here, trying to keep this visible to you. You've got my IP addresses and MAC addresses, and so this is it. This is pretty much all. This is what you get as far as this goes. Nice little graph here that you can hover over and be like, okay, oh, I got 120 megahertz or gigahertz, I'm sorry, 120 gigahertz at this time. You also have your temperature here. This thing pretty much sits right at 40 degrees Celsius. So you can also go into here and change your network settings. I'm not going to do that, and I don't think you can do anything else with this. The manual says you can overclock it, but I haven't really played with that. That's it. That's pretty simple. Like I said, it's fully configurable off of this LCD. This is Android, so when you go to this web address here, you get an Android keyboard that pops up, and you can type in, your IP address, or you can type in your pool name, wherever you're going to be mining from. Like I said, I think that's pretty clever. So, yeah. Alright, so let's get into some pros and cons. Pros, we'll start there. Awesome materials. This thing is made out, this thing is solid. Like when you pick this thing up and shake it around, there's no moving parts inside of it that rattle around. They've done a really good job of securing everything in there, which is awesome because it was shipped from China, and we all know that our wonderful postal services are not very gentle with boxes sometimes. So that's awesome. Good make quality, good materials here. It does not feel cheap at all. Also, pros, the LCD screen fully configurable off of this screen, no computer needed, completely plug and play as advertised. Third thing is sound. This thing actually really does not put hardly any sound. I know all you can hear right now is the pump on my fish tank. It's actually louder than this device is. Of course, I have it open right now, but I know you can't hear the fan, but if I bring it closer, and that's right next to it. So anyway, very quiet. I'm actually very surprised. The other pro to this is the software. The actual web interface that you get when you go to the computer, which we'll take a look at, or we should be taking a look at. Is very good. It gives you a lot of information. It gives you all your pool numbers. It gives you everything that you would need to successfully mine with this unit. Alright, so let's get into the cons of this unit. Being completely honest, the biggest con of this unit is that it was a 1.5 years delayed. I'll get into that more in the ugly, so we'll move on from that. I should have done that last, but anyway. Second con is it does put out a lot of heat. It is a Bitcoin miner. That is a normal thing. You're not going to get a Bitcoin miner that does not put out a lot of heat. My third con is there's a wireless antenna that comes with this unit. Back here. It's useless. Like, and the Android operating system that is on the LCD screen in this area here, it has internet, and you can use this as a web surfing device, but the miner itself, the board that goes across here that connects to the miner, is not wireless. So when I first got this, I was like, oh, look, a wireless antenna. Tried to hook it up to wireless, and it wasn't mining, and I was like, what's going on? So it has a wireless capabilities in the Raspberry Pi that is in here, and in Android. No wireless capabilities in the unit itself. That's a big. I think that's a big con. Third thing is, I would have liked to have had them daisy chainable. What I mean by that is I actually have 2 of these units, and it would have been nice to be able to hook them together, multiple units together, to just have one Ethernet and share them. There's 3 USB ports on this device. There's 1 up here, and then of course 2 in the back. I would have liked them to be usable. I think all you can pretty much do on them now is update the unit. You can't hook like an ASIC miner, what were they called? Bitfury, those old 33 megahertz units to it, and then have one of those, or some of the newer USB units like the U3, the Rockbox U3. It would be cool if you could hook that up there. I actually haven't tried it, but I'm assuming you cannot hook another unit up to this like a U3, an RBox, or any of those other USB devices, the Butterfly Labs, Jalapeno, any of those. I don't think you can hook those up to this and let this work. If it could, that'd be nice, because this, by itself, the Raspberry Pi and the LCD would give you a decent interface to control all that. The programming that they have on here is pretty decent. And of course, as I say something, it doesn't work correctly. So, yeah, nitpicky stuff. I think my last con is going to be these buttons. You have two buttons here on the top. One turns on and off the LCD. One turns off Bitcoin mining. I think it basically restarts the unit. And then these others, I have no freaking clue what they do. I've tried messing with them. Did that restart the unit? Nope. So they don't do anything. Even when you're inside the web browser. Well, that did something. Oh, it took me to the home screen. So I guess one of these is the home button. So this is Android, like I showed you before. So the buttons are useless. They could have saved me $5 and not mess with those buttons. Yeah. Alright, so on to the ugly. As we sit here and look at this beautiful, beautiful thing. There's a big silence here, because I don't know where to start. I ordered this unit in November of 2013. Today it is March 20-something, 23rd, 25th of 2015. I got this unit Monday, which was the 23rd. So, almost 2 years, 2.5 years. I apologize. 1.5 years. My math is bad. So, yeah. People allegedly say that they were using these miners on their own to make money, and then claiming that there were delays. People allegedly say the person who owns Black Arrow software has been convicted or has had issues with credit card fraud in the past, and that is why he moved to China, and he is running this company to run a scam, basically. People say allegedly that there's a lot of things that people say. I think you have to take all that with a grain of salt. I'm not going to defend them. I'm just saying that in the past you have looked at certain things. You have take Kickstarter for example. You go to Kickstarter and you sponsor an item like the Pebble Watch. Kickstarter is not a store. You do not buy your item off of Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a way of supporting a product that you believe in. I think Black Arrow probably would have done better on Kickstarter or GoFundMe, or there's a dozen funding websites out there that they could have probably done with this unit, gotten funding to make the units and ordered them that way. People like me, people who have faith in other people, pre-order these devices, which I did. I pre-ordered this device with the intention that it was going to arrive early 2015 at the very earliest. And we have faith that those agreements that we give are going to be honored. When you order directly off of someone's website, you have those expectations. When you order off of, when I back an item off of GoFundMe or the other website that I just mentioned a second ago, I'm with the understanding that I am supporting this. It may not ever come out. Um, so, and there have been lots of things that have been on those backing websites, that have never come out. You know, and there are a lot of companies who have done stuff similar to Black Arrow, who ended up in the same position that they did. You know, as far as I think when you start from scratch, you have no partners, and you're trying to build something like this. Um, it's more difficult than you might think it is to begin with. You know, manufacturing is very difficult. There are very few people, the companies in this world who have mastered the art of manufacturing in bulk and meeting timelines and stuff like that. Um, I honestly, looking at this unit, I'll say a couple of things. First thing is, when I got it, this is going to sound funny, it smelled new. It did not smell like it had been mining Bitcoin for a year before I got it. Because that's what it would have been. I bet, you know, if they would have gotten these units, they would have gotten them in January, February, March of 2014, and they had been mining with them for the past year. That's what people claim, allegedly. It did not smell like that. Like, anybody who has been around electronics, anybody who has been around computers in general, I guess, electronics in general, computers mostly, it has a smell to it. You know, you can smell the dust. This is a big fan. This guy intake on the other side, I didn't see any dust in there. I didn't see, so unless they had these things mining in a cold room, unless they had these things mining in a clean room, and I mean like cleaner than a hospital, like a server room basically. I don't think that they were mining with these units. The second thing is, I think that the people who designed this unit had very high expectations for their build quality and for the way that they wanted this to work. So you have a couple of companies, I mean, Apple. They have high build quality, and they take pride in their build quality. And I think that the standards set by the owner of this company and the people who designed this unit were a lot higher than what they probably should have been. This thing's well built. I mean, it was not slapped together just to be like, well, you know, we have all these people who paid for these units, let's just put a bunch of plastic in a box and send it off. This actually feels well made to me. I know there are some people who have had power supply issues, and I know some people who have had failure issues and stuff like that, which that's going to happen with anything. And with the small amount of units that were actually shipped, when one person complains, that's a big, you know, it's a higher percentage, right? 300 units, one person complains, 3%. Unless I did that math wrong. So I think they had, their expectations were set too high. They wanted to build a product before they were ready, basically. And I'll go back. There are many companies who have done this. Butterfly Labs is one of them, and they are notorious in the Bitcoin community for doing the exact same thing that Black Arrow did. Like I said, it goes back to manufacturing. So this may sound like I'm defending them. I'm just being real. I'm not gonna go on a rant about allegations about the owners, you know, using these miners for their own profit. You know, scamming people or credit card fraud, or none of that matters to me. What matters to me is I ordered a unit in 2013 with the expectation it was going to be here in early 14, and it wasn't. It was a year later. Like, I'm not even giving set dates. I'm just saying, like, we were told several times that these units were going to be ready and sold. If you were going to have delays like that, Black Arrow, if you're watching this, if you're going to have delays like that, you need to be upfront with your customers. Bottom line. If you're not going to be upfront with your customers, you need to give refunds. And I will say, from personal experience, I asked for a refund in March of last year. A little bit after, actually, I think it was right before the crash. Right before China decided that they do not want people mining Bitcoins and that their banks were not going to accept Bitcoin as payment and all this kind of stuff. Bitcoin was at, you know, $1,000 a Bitcoin, and now today it is at $250-ish a Bitcoin. So anyway, I asked for my refund then. No response until about 6 months later, and they said, oh, there's this magical clause that just appeared in our contract that says we won't honor refunds. However, when the unit was processed, when I purchased the unit, it is on the website that refunds would be honored. So I know you're tired of looking at this black box and listening to me rant. I'll just say that in the future, if your company is going to design something like this, it is a complicated piece of equipment. Not really. And you want it to be well built, you want to hold yourself to high standards, you need to adhere to your own contracts. If you want backers, you need to go on a place like GoFundMe or one of those places where you can get backers and who go into this with an expectation that they may not get their money back. I'm not getting my money back on this. I paid $600 for 2 of these units. I might make $50 from these 2 units. Make $50 from these 2 units. Yeah. So, which, yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But to anyone who is going to design one of these, to companies who are looking at what Black Arrow did wrong, anyone who is looking at what Butterfly Labs did wrong, anyone who is looking at what I could probably think of 5 other companies who have done the exact same thing. Just think about it. Think about your design. Think about your effort that you're putting into it and the expectation that you have for a product that you're going to release and the expectations your customers have to have that product on time. I'll shut up now. So anyway, that has been my review, the good, bad, the ugly of the Black Arrow X-1. If they come out with another unit and it is not a pre-order and they tell me you can have this unit and it will do this and these features, I will buy it. There's no question. I will buy it. This unit is as advertised. Every single bullet point that was on their website for this unit has been met 100% with this unit. The fact that it is a year and a half late, a year late, whatever, it's hard for me to get past that fact. Good unit. The main bullet points, plug and play, touchscreen LCD, non-computer required, very quiet. Those, 4 bullet points or whatever, met 100%. I'll shut up now. You guys have a great day. Have